I've got. Just let me know, because I've got a campaign where it's literally just the character placeholder. So you just make a random character in there, and you have access to all my content sharing.
I could probably do the same, actually.
That would
Anyway,
be awesome.
we're live, people. What's up, chat?
Technically, you do if you got campaign running.
Yeah, and that as well.
Roasted chicken with the prime sub, 9 months. Thank you very much. So, guys, Wednesday night. I do have to apologise in advance because I'm probably going to hack up a lung throughout tonight. For some reason, this cough is back. It just drives me fucking mental. So, apologies for any coughing fits that destroy your microphones and ears. But it is what it is. These things do happen. Drax, facepalm. Emily's casting the facepalm spell. But last Sunday night we had our Paradigm one-shot. Thank you for all those viewers that come and hung out with us while the old crew, the old original Campaign 1 crew came back and went on a bit of an adventure to seek out the Drum of Despair, a necromantic artifact which Het had discovered in his trolling of the books in his library. Went very, very well. No one died. They sought out and collected the Drum of Despair, and it's now in a safe place in its archives in the college in Valaki. Unfortunately, for those, except for Evldoa, of course, over the course of the next 90 years, all of those characters are going to die off. I would say probably of natural causes, and the only living line of Valaki in Campaign 2 will be Evldoa the White, although she's probably by that stage starting to get towards the end of her years too. Although as a dragon she will live for probably still a few hundred years more. But Sadiq, Namaris, Het, and Alashondras would have all passed on by the time Campaign 2 starts. But this is not Campaign 2, this is Curse of Strahd. We're episode 43, I believe it is this evening. Hopefully I got that right. I didn't actually check it against everything else. I was right. Cool, I'm good. So episode 43, where last we left off, our characters were met with a kind of grisly sort of visage as they re-entered Valaki. So without further ado, unless anyone else got something to say, we're going to get into tonight's story. So last we left off, you'd all travelled to the swamps of Berez to recover the life seed for the Martikov Patriarch and the Wizards of Wine Winery. You had spent some time there. You met an old woman who gave you some warnings. You talked to Laszlo, the former it made my finger bleed, the former Burgermeister of Berez, and found the Sun Sword, which was a good thing to find. Made Karnos feel very powerful indeed in his lightsabery ways. You ended up in a battle with Bubba Saga, some scarecrows, and a living hut, which turned out to be where the seed was held. Zadriel managing to get inside the hut and retrieving the seed. Most of you, in fact all of you, being rendered unconscious during the course of this battle. As the battle comes to an end, the chest is opened by Zadriel, once again sending two of you into unconsciousness as a thunderous spell, some kind of ward on this chest emanating out of it. Heals were given and items found, some useful items indeed, were also recovered from the chest, including the seed. Deciding that a short rest before heading to the winery was the best course of action, you head back to the Standing Stones and rest up. Karnos inadvertently well, not inadvertently, uses his newfound gift of Misty Step and then freezes on the spot. Unsure of what's exactly happened to him. A couple of things were tried to stop him from being so stiff, to no avail. Eventually the effects wore off on their own. Your rest had Emilia changing into her elk form and Zadriel summoning her steed. I saw that snicker, Laura. I think Yanti was the first one to react to that. Anywho, you mounted up on the steeds and headed towards the crossroads. However, on your way, about some point on your way, you decided to head back to Valaki instead of going to the winery to get a full rest before heading to return the seed. The earth started to rumble and crack, trees fell, and eventually a large fissure opened and a large tornado-like fire erupted, eventually forming the face of Strahd, who informs you that you are interfering in things you do not understand, and that he definitely didn't seem happy with what was going on. Karnos produces the Sunblade in defiance, but he ultimately says that he will leave you nowhere to hide. And then, almost as quickly as it started, a explosion, sending a bit of a shockwave out, sending you all to the ground, and then disappearing. Deciding definitely to head back to Valaki at this point. As you approach the town, however, you are met with a rather grisly sight, with the heads of Valakians and Valakian soldiers on pikes lining the road leading to a broken gate. As you enter the village, the St. Andrew's Church in ruins, burnt out, pile of burnt bodies inside. Many of you then fan out, start searching around the rest of the city, finding more destruction as you go. Ultimately, you all come back together and end up in the town square, where hanging from a makeshift gallows you find several bodies, all people you knew. Some you considered allies, one even probably a friend. You cut them down and covered the bodies as the sun started to set, deciding that it was probably a good idea to find somewhere safe to sleep for the evening. You headed to the Vakta house, where you knew you had a basement to barricade. Emilia, at some point during this, headed into the town on her own, making her way to Vasily Van Holt's house. Finding it empty, or so she thought, as she made entry into the house, making her way through the ground floor and then to the upper floors, finding some large crates in the upper floors of the house. Deciding to have a look at what may be in them, she disturbs a vampire spawn who breaks free of this crate. In turn, the other crates also burst open, revealing more vampire spawn. They give chase. Emilia runs. She seems, or so she thinks, has given them the slip and returns to the basement with the rest of you, where you set up your alarms, your traps, organize your watches for the evening, and this is where we rejoin you now as you are getting yourselves ready to bed down. Now, the first watch, I believe, was Zadriel and Emilia. Second watch, Karnos and Adok, and the final watch, Fibblestib and Skathis. So we will turn back over to you guys as you prepare to turn in for the evening in the township of Valaki, the basement of the Vakta house.
Who's got the sea?
I think
Last person to have it was in Karnos's arms, but Zadriel was the one that put it there, so whether Zadriel collected it again.
I don't think it did. No.
So Karnos would probably have it then.
I don't remember.
Either that or you left it in Berez.
Mm,
I would imagine
No.
one of you would have collected it before you left Berez. So
why
it
did
is
I
up
have
to
it in my
you.
arms?
Yeah, you would have had, when you were paralyzed, you had it in your arms.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't have done anything with it then,
No.
so someone would have had to collect it.
So I would say Zadriel, you probably put
Probably.
it back in your pack after it did nothing with Karnos. So we'll say that Zadriel has.
Sweet. I'm going to ask Zadriel, can I see the seed? Just please.
So at this point, you're all still awake, preparing yourselves to set up for the first watch. So is there anything you all wanted to achieve before some of you sleep and Zadriel and Emily take over on their watch?
Zadriel will give you the seed and very cautiously. Why do you want to look at it or?
I've got a theory I want to test. Just
While that's going on, I'm going to find a corner in the round room. I believe it's a round room.
Nope, it's both square rooms.
Okay. And just do a short prayer for
Okay.
the fallen.
Duly noted.
You aren't going to like burn it or electrocute it or something?
no, not at all.
Okay. And I hand you the seed.
Emily is going to sort of take the seed, roll it over in her hands a couple of times, and then she's going to put it down the neck of her cloak, so it's under her armor.
What, the seed?
Yeah.
And that's not possible. The seed is the size of a rugby ball.
What's the size of a rugby ball?
Yeah, it's not like a small gem. It's a large rugby ball
Okay,
size.
that-
Yeah, it's about the size of an American football. Not quite the size of our rugby balls. So about a third the size of a rugby ball, but about that shape.
Oh, she's going to stick it into her robe then, like under her robe.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I have a theory that I want to test. So what I'm thinking is the seed made the house come alive. I'm not alive. So if I put it next to me, will it make me come back to life?
You're
And then I
going
can have breakfast with you guys in the morning.
you're going to try to hatch it like an egg or something.
No, I'm trying to make it hatch me like it is.
I don't think I want to get that on the seed when we return it. So maybe, I don't think it works that way.
But we'll never know if we don't try.
If it makes you happy, then sit on the seed.
Emily, you
Emily's going to stay on the seat.
sit on the seed, and it's not comfortable. It's not a smooth gem. It's rather rough, but it is it's warm. It doesn't really do anything. However, thank you for the gifted sub, roasted for Drax. I do believe that was from the the Dark Anthologies stream that we did the other week.
You are not going to go off alone anymore, are you? You're going to stay with us now?
Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe?
I sort of do things in the spur of the moment.
I am no longer going to go looking for you anymore if you go off.
Okay.
I mean it.
Okay.
I am very serious, Emilia.
I have a question for you, but I want to wait until everyone else is asleep.
looking around. Is Skathis still praying?
By this time, Skathis probably would have finished and found himself either a corner or another part of the room, and most other people have started to settle in.
So I'll wait. I'll just be quiet until Emily is ready to talk.
So over the last, we'll say over the next sort of 40 minutes or so, everyone else starts to settle in, and ultimately the rest of your companions drift off to some semblance of sleep. I would imagine that everybody in their own way would have thoughts of what you guys have discovered on your return to Valaki, and it would be affecting them in different ways. The rest,
I'd like to.
yeah, so the rest of you, just for a second, the rest of you, how you think your character is feeling at this moment, you can express that before you go to bed or as you are trying to sleep, up to you. So Karnos, we'll switch over to you.
I'd just like to say I think Karnos I would be pretty tired and asleep already at this stage as they're just chatting.
Yeah, well, you're all exhausted, so this would definitely factor into it. So Karnos is pretty much out to it. He would have been, the moment he sort of lay his head down, the exhaustion would have set in.
Yeah, Karnos was exhausted not as the condition, but in general, because the condition was cured by the greater restoration film Stib gave him. Nonetheless, he is knackered because of the Misty Step business.
Yes.
and the continual dying business.
and of course what you've discovered here as well.
And what we've seen, digging holes. And
yeah, I dare say that Karnos would possibly be feeling, maybe feeling a little guilty, as a hero would, possibly.
He is definitely putting some of the blame on himself, yes.
And I would say feeling rather angry at the same time.
Oh, that's a tough one. He doesn't get angry too often. But we will see.
We will see. Skathis has said his little prayer and has made some form of offering to whatever deity he may or may not serve for the dead of Valaki. Skathis, how easy do you think it would be for Skathis to go to sleep? Bear in mind you are exhausted.
I'd say uneasy, considering he'd be kind of reliving his monastery days.
Yeah.
About now.
So I would say he'd probably definitely feeling the pang of a little bit of guilt, but also just a little bit of PTSD from seeing something so similar, and it would be bringing back flashes of memories of his past. So I would say that your sleep would be restless. You'll still sleep, but it might take you a little bit extra to get there. And when you are asleep, it'll be probably very nightmarish type sleep. So you'll probably have a very restless sleep.
Yep.
Adok, as you drift off to sleep, again you are exhausted. What do you think Adok would be feeling at this point, based on what he has seen walking back into Valaki?
Just numb, really. Just a general numbness.
Yeah.
And just feeling lost, a general sense of lost. Whatever sense of hope, I guess, he was starting to build is just diminished.
Yeah. So I would imagine the same thing. So Adok, you'd be the same. It would take you probably not too long to get to sleep because of the exhaustion that the day you've had has been very trying indeed. You've all been rendered unconscious. You're battered, you're bruised, and then to return to what you thought was a safe place and find this. I'd say Adok's sleep would also be relatively restless as well. Thoughts leaning towards, obviously Strahd will probably pop in there from time to time. Finding these people, which you've probably now come to think of as some semblance of friends, and whether you guys are able to do what you need to do after seeing this. Maybe that's shaken a bit more compared to what it was before. Fibblestib. What is Fibblestib feeling at this point in time?
Yeah, he'd be upset that, the town got sacked, but at the same time, he wouldn't really be blaming himself for something that the so-called leader did to his own people. So that's probably more confusing him, like,
so you're saying that Fib would be more analytical on what he's sort of seeing here.
Yeah,
Did be that touch of guilt, but mostly like, why would he do that to his own people?
Yeah, why take out his own people? That doesn't make sense.
And I can sort of get that from Fibble too. That's the sort of vibe that Fibble's given out through the entirety of the story. So with that in mind, I'd say it wouldn't be too difficult for Fibble to sleep. I don't think Fibble's going to have nightmares or dreams about this sort of thing. He's probably going to just be focusing on his tinkering and what he can do to kill this fucking Strahd so that he can get the hell out of here and go home. So he can build more shit. So with that, the rest of your companions drift off to sleep, leaving Emilia and Zadriel on the first watch of the evening.
Zadriel's pacing back and forth with tapping her hammer on her hand to stay awake.
Emilia's sort of been pacing, but I mean, she's been holding the egg or the seed, but sort of been pacing. She's obviously got sick of sitting on it.
It wouldn't have been very comfortable.
But she's holding it like it's like she's pregnant. She's gonna go across and sit next to Zadriel. She's gonna say, "I've got this question for you. I've got a couple of questions, but I've just got this one in particular, and I've been wondering it for quite some time now. So, you know how you're a paladin, right? And you're sworn to, like, defeat all evil and destroy evil, whatever. Because that's what I understand about paladins.
Some paladins do, but I'm not really destroyer of all evils. I am a bringer of joy.
I see, because it's just, well, a person in the group who you would have immediately seen to be somewhat demonic.
Scatus, yes.
Yeah. And then within a day or so, there's another person in the party who you're revealed to be not human as such.
Doc?
I was talking about me, actually. Both of which, who I would have thought in your eyes would be classed as evil that you would want to get rid of.
Well, do you think you are evil?
Oh, I know that for a fact. She giggles like I just did. And she's just like, yeah. The way I see it, I figured that if you were out to get us, or out to honor your vows or whatever, then you would be out to get us. And then for you to shack up with people who you can tell almost immediately to party with people you know that are almost immediately evil, then you would be going against your vows, is what I'm saying.
It's a fine line. I'm watching you, Emilia. I'm not going to let anything bad happen to the party. Do you think something might happen if you
I'm just concerned. It's the fact that I kind of think this is my fault. Like Valaki, among other things.
Why?
Well, so when we first came to Valaki, I could feel Lord Strahd immediately. And then he visited me almost immediately. And I kind of rejected him. And then when we were in jail, he came to me again to be my knight in shining armor, and I kind of rejected him. And then I flirted with 4 of the 7 people that were quite literally hanging in the courtyard evening. And I'm kind of feeling like he might be doing this to smite me.
You think he destroyed an entire town because he thinks you're hot?
Well, because he's approached me several times, and I've dejected him each time, and then I've come on to these people. He's obviously going, well, she obviously thinks these guys are better than me, so...
He wants Irina.
Yeah, well, the way he talked the first time I met him, it sounded very much like he wanted me.
Girl, get over that. Girl, get over that man.
There's something else as well. That's not these aren't the only times that he's helped me. He helped me once before we came to Barovia. And it's awkward. I'm going to say this. I was in quite a bit of trouble before we came to Barovia. And then he sends out a letter, and I just happened to come here when I'm trying to leave, what's it, Phandalin or whatever the place was called? When I'm trying to get out of there because of reasons. So, technically, he's brought me to a land where less people are trying to kill me than where I came from.
Why do you think he brought the rest of us here? He doesn't have the hots for all of us. Or maybe he does, but I don't think it's you. I think he's just an asshole. So we kill him. You think... Are you helping Strahd now? You think?
No. I think that if I meet him again, he's probably going to deal with me the same way he'll deal with a wild animal.
Then you are not evil to me. And I will not kill you today. Huh?
I'm just concerned that it may be me that he wants. And he'll hurt you guys to hurt me.
I'm not going to let him have you then, if that's not what you want.
I don't care about me. I don't want him to hurt you guys.
No.
If that means that I need to walk out of here right now, then so be it.
What do you want to do, Emilia?
Do you know I don't want to be alone? But
then you stay.
And I don't want you to get hurt because of me.
And you go. You only know what you need to do.
Trust me, if I knew what I needed to do, I would have done it.
And help me and Carlos and the rest of them kill him then. And you're free to go wherever you like. Maybe ask the party in the morning what they want to do. They have a choice too. I mean, Carnos is your lunchbox right now, so I think you should ask him.
Malia, roll a wisdom save for me, please.
Oh God. Oh shit.
Oh no.
What are the
It is night time, so it is +3. But you are exhausted, so you'll be at disadvantage. You need to roll again. Take the lower.
Oh God. That was a nat 1.
That was a natural 1. So you still add 3 to it, so it still works out at 12. So it's still a failure, however.
Still inspires or whatever. Can I use them?
It wouldn't help you, unfortunately.
Oh.
The DC is getting rather up there now, unfortunately, for these things. So it has been some time since you've fed. Almost the entirety of this day from the previous evening, and that wave of almost nausea, but that hunger you get right in the pit of your stomach just washes over you as Zadriel's talking. You can hear just in your, like, not like you can hear it, but you can, inside your mind's ear, if you will, you can hear a heartbeat, strong heartbeat. As you sort of glance around the room, looking at sort of each individual, you're now starting to hear, as you look at each one of your companions, you can hear each one of their heartbeats, as if it was your own heartbeat. You can hear it in your ears and your head. You look at Zadriel, the vein, that carotid vein, the one that runs up the neck, you can see it pulsing, her heartbeat. You're not out of control, you're not going to attack her at this point, but that urge, you're right on the cusp of it. Human blood is the blood that sustains you the best. You know that. You know that instinctively. You know that, but you also know that any blood is better than no blood. It may not sustain you as well, but at this point, from this point on, you are able to feed on virtually anything and anybody. And it's going to make it harder now to resist that thirst, that you know that bestial frenzy is just getting closer and closer and closer, but you need to feed, and you're going to need to feed soon. You almost get to that point where Zadriel's words are just lost on you. You sort of slip into almost like a trance-like state where you see her talking, but you just don't hear anything. And then you snap out of it.
Right?
Sorry, I totally didn't get any of that.
Yeah, maybe you should talk to the party in the morning. Since, you know.
Not sure if they'll be here then.
Why?
I'm so hungry.
Did you eat? Did Carnos feed you?
Probably too long ago.
Well, I think he is next watch, so maybe you can wake him. I can wake him if you want.
Yeah, I should probably do that soon. Because I'm really hungry. And maybe better if you wake him, because I don't want to be near people right now.
Okay, well, and I give her a big hug.
Before you give her the hug, Zadriel,
I move in.
As you move in, roll perception check for me, please.
Oh, no.
And this won't be at disadvantage, even though you're exhausted because of your proximity. So it's a straight roll.
Oh Jesus, 6. And move in.
Yeah, you move in. You don't really spot it. But actually, no, you probably would as you go in for the hug without even sort of thinking about it. You get in and you lock eyes with her just for a split second before you go into the hug, and her eyes are not the same. They're not the same vibrant green that they once were. Then instead now they're extremely pale, to the point where the green is almost the color of a washed out sort of ocean estuary. Like it's very, very, very pale. Almost grey.
Okay?
I don't know. Especially because my eyes are blue, not green.
Or whatever they were, whatever color they were, they're not that anymore. I was pretty sure they were green.
Oh, they were always blue.
Okay, well they're not that color anymore. They're grey.
You know,
Actually, I can see it in the picture behind you. They are blue.
if I don't know how to say this, Emilia, but do you fear that the party might have to intervene with you eventually? Are you able to control this young girl?
Actually, how much exposed skin has Emilia got? Like face, neck.
Oh, bloody hell. So
I might go while he's.
Yeah. So Zadriel, you would also feel it when you pulled her in for the hug. If you were to touch her face, like or any of her skin, she is like very cold to the touch now. Like the warmth of her body is almost.
Sweet a bit.
Are we going to have to intervene with you? Are you able to control this, or is there going to be a time where I have to use my hammer again?
I am afraid that you're probably going to need to use your hammer and do to my head what I've seen you done to many people's heads in the time.
Is this what you want me to do when the time comes?
I mean, if you're able to incapacitate me or anything, then
I can kill you. Oh, okay, yeah, knock you out. Okay, yeah.
But if it comes to the point, then splatter my brains all over the head of your hammer.
Let's go wake up Carnos. It's about time now.
But if you ever see me full blown attack somebody in the party, deal with me. Like, don't hesitate. Deal with me.
I will do that. You are my friend. I will take care of you.
If I ever turn on you, do the same thing.
And you
tell to everyone, kill that bitch right now. And if we make it to the morning, I will tell everyone the same thing.
Okay, I will wake up Carnos. I'm going to try to give you a hug, Emilia. Okay?
Emilia's going to push you away.
Okay.
Yes, you can see she's very nervous. She's upset. Like she doesn't. It's not that she doesn't trust you or she doesn't want to. It's definitely that I don't trust myself look. Safer not to kind of thing.
I will go wake up Carnos as he wakes up.
And Adok as well.
Yes.
Adok, wake up. Emilia doesn't look the same, and she is not acting the same. She is worried about eating all of us. So.
Oh, I haven't drained blood for her for a little bit. I suppose I kind of forget. I remember to eat, but I forget about that.
Are you going to be okay?
I hope so. I feel better even after a couple of hours of sleep, but you know.
Okay, just be careful. And No, I think that's all I'm going to do.
That's
Wait,
what you wish to do?
I might cast
Go for it.
something. It's not gonna last very long, but I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on Carnos, which is gonna up his AC for a little, just because I'm worried about until she falls asleep.
How long does it last?
It only lasts 10 minutes, but I'm waiting for her to kind of fall asleep a little. So
that'll be long enough.
There you go.
All right. Before Emily, if you settle down, I'll drain some blood into this water skin for you. Is that what you're after?
Yes, I'm very hungry.
Or do you want to... No, I don't like that idea. I was going to offer direct feed, but I don't. No, I don't. And so as Adok's waking up, Carnos is just draining blood into the water bottle. Water skin.
So, because you're going to end up having a long rest, you won't worry about taking damage.
Yeah,
But how much do you risk draining at this point?
I do the same as I did last time. I give her enough to keep her overnight, and then I've got to try and... She's going to have to remind me to do it in the morning again, and then again, sort of every few hours that I can sort of do it for her.
Yeah. So Carnos would be aware that obviously draining too much is not good, and that you'll probably be able to do it maybe twice in a day before it would start having adverse effects. And maybe you wouldn't be able to drain a pint of blood. I mean, that would send you very sleepy and stuff like that. So you probably giving enough just to tie her over for the evening, I would say. But I would say Emilia is grateful. Laters, JJ. So Emilia, Carnos does so. He bleeds into your water skin once again, allowing you to feed somewhat. It's not enough. You know it's not enough, but you are grateful, and it'll tie you over.
Emily is going to consume all of it.
Yep.
She's going to take off her armor, she's got a chain shirt, and take that off, and she's going to put one arm through an armhole from the other direction. She's going to twist it around, and then put her other arm through the other one. So basically sort of handcuffing herself.
Okay.
Obviously, since she put it in, she can get them out. But it's going to make it difficult.
Makes it a little bit more difficult, yeah. Adok with a luck.
All right, Emily, that's weird. Good night.
Right.
I will attempt to drain some more in a few hours' time before I go to sleep again.
Just one thing, if I try and take it by force, just deal with me. Just don't protect yourself, don't worry about me.
I thought that went without saying. We've had this discussion before, I'm sure.
I think so, but I just need to make sure.
All right. And he lets her go and catches up with Adok. We're still in this little basement area, so there's not a lot of room,
you've got the basement itself is sort of the main basement area is 25 feet by 15 feet, so it's sort of a rectangular style room. You've got the stairs down from the exterior, and then stairs up to the interior of the house, and then there was a secret room which you guys discovered, which was not so secret, which is another 20 by 20 foot room, which is where the pentagram and the chairs were. The pentagram's been sort of scrubbed out and the chairs are no longer there, but you've got this double space, so you guys can sort of spread out where you think is probably better. The main sort of basement area is dirt floor. The other area is a wooden floor. So the wooden floor probably probably not as comfortable, but warmer. I would imagine you probably all bedding down in the wooden area and your watch be out in the main area of the basement, so you can watch the doors.
Sounds safe. You good, Adok?
Whilst this is happening, Adok's got up, has woken up, and it's just checked on both doors to see if they're still secure or he nailed it in.
Yep, and they both are indeed.
What? Yeah. You hungry?
Oh, yes, I am actually. I just drained some blood for Emilia, and it does leave me a little tired.
She alright?
I don't know. I shall keep this, and I've got the sun sword tucked at my side now. I shall keep this as close as I can. But it's tricky. I had to move my axes over, my throwing axes, to weight differential, and then I had to move my daggers, and I had to move a few other bits and pieces around to keep the weight. I need another sun sword, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I could, maybe, if you want, maybe either I or Fibble can have a look at it and, magics and stuff. Hey, look, I'm not really good with words, yeah?
You seem to talk quite well, actually, for a little goblin.
Yeah, right, well, what I mean is, I'm just going to address the, I guess, metaphorical elephant in the room. There's not actually an elephant in the room, it's a metaphor.
No, I've heard that saying. Yeah, thank you for pointing it out, though.
I feel like you and I may have attacked you recently, if you don't recall.
Go on.
I would just like to say that look, I'm not doing all right, if I'm being honest. Not okay, really. And I've been here for a while. I just really want to go home. And it's just you get some sort of, I guess, glimpse of what it was like on the outside here, and it's gone. And I lost my temper. and now I've got claws. It seems to grow out somewhere. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if goblins can do that. I didn't know I could. But anyway, besides the point. What I'm trying to say is, you've been good to me, and from what I know, is most humans aren't really the sort of type to. Am I talking too much? You know what? Like, it's all good. You can I'll give you a ration. Well, some food of mine. You get what I mean? Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. I appreciate your lost words. We're good. You had to vent, man. I understand. Everyone has to vent every now and then. We're friends, aren't we?
Does that mean you don't want to chop my head off anymore?
That's like months. I mean, how many? 2 months and a bit now. Yeah, that first week, you were funny. It was weird. I did want to, but now I feel like we have seen some, like all of us, Fibble, Scafus. Sometimes I wonder about Scafus, but Zadriel, Emilia, we've all had our ups and downs because we didn't know each other really, and now I feel good. And your attacking me was just, I mean, you have an opinion, I have an opinion, and sometimes they differ. You didn't do me any harm, and I don't think it's worth worrying about, mate. You good?
Yeah.
Can I appreciate you confiding in me. Can I confide in you?
Yep.
I know you're afraid sometimes. I have a good feeling.
About me being afraid?
Well, if you weren't afraid, that would be silly, because this place is scary. What I want to say to you is, my good feeling is I feel like things are going to go well. And yes, the town is ransacked and people are dead. And yes, it does sometimes feel like we may have caused some of this, but I think people are starting to see that there is hope in pushing back, maybe. I can feel... Adok, I am afraid. For the first time in a long, long time, I am afraid. But you know what that tells me?
that I've got no idea. Can you help me out?
Well, when you're afraid, that's a good thing. That means you start being more careful. You may have noticed, but sometimes I can be a bit straight up run into the headlong into battles.
No, not at all. No, that is I've never once crossed my mind at all about you.
We're all friends here, Adok. I know. Everyone thinks I'm a little bit
Yeah,
bullheaded.
you're insane. Like literally insane. I've never seen someone see a monstrous sort of half-eaten dog that's somehow still walking towards you with glowing red eyes and you charging toward. I've never seen someone run into that without fear like you. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's fine. Everyone, I mean, people have death wishes and whatnot. It's cool. Not that you do. I don't have a death wish, but I talked. Yeah, you were saying. Sorry.
I know it's quite all right. Yeah, I don't have a death wish. No. And for a long time, I haven't been afraid of anything. And I thought maybe I was just getting numb to the fact of everything that's going on. But all this talk of the gods, DM in specific, and then the Strahd character being quite a lot stronger than I have met up with for a while. And this is not one of my... I know I tend to elaborate sometimes, but this is not one of my elaborations. It's made me realise that I do have to be a little more careful. However, I still feel like there is a place and a time for heroics, and these people need it. Look around. Look at what this Strahd has done. These people need saving. Whether we think we can do it or not, whether we're afraid or not. Can you go home, Adok?
Can I go home?
Yeah, that's my question to you. Can you go home?
I don't know. I don't think I can. The only people that matter to me right now is in this room.
Good, we're on the same page.
But in terms of saving everyone, the people outside of this room, they're not real.
So you've got something better to do?
No, what? No, I don't think you get what I mean, Karnos. They're not real.
Oh, you mean they're not real at all? Not just to you?
Yeah, they're not real. I mean, they are, but they're not. I told you I've been here for a while, and I didn't really have my memory, but it's coming back. It's pretty much back. This is all Strahd's doing. Like, it's his. He controls it. It's his magic. It's his. I don't even know if it's magic. These people. Just you remember the windmill, right?
Yeah.
We burnt it down, and then it came back.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen here.
You think
Maybe.
this whole... Okay, two things. One, if that happens, that's good. I don't feel so guilty if that happens.
No, but people, they don't... It'll be like it never happened. You understand? It'll be like nothing's different.
So two, that means collateral damage is all right then.
Well, I mean, to be fair, this is a theory, and like, I haven't. What I think so. Well, I'm not really sure. It's a theory. It's honestly, but I'm like 40% sure that that's the case.
That is, I mean, I'm not the greatest mathematician, but that's a low percentage, Adok.
Yeah, but
we have to wait and see, maybe.
I've seen some fucked up shit, all right, happen here. That doesn't make sense. It's not. Do you remember the outside? It's not the outside. People, once they die, they stay dead. They don't come back.
That's true. I'll play it more carefully. we'll keep an eye on this theory of yours. But don't lose faith. I feel I'm going to pray to the DM, to this DM. I feel like I'm getting closer to him. Things, for as bleak as they are, things do feel like they're getting better. Do you mind just keeping an eye while I go to the corner and just say a prayer?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Carlos.
Yes.
I've mentioned it as Adriel, but there is a possibility that we're going to have to do something about Emilia.
Absolutely, I understand.
Maybe, just if you could, for me, do a prayer or something for her.
I'm going to put a word in for everyone, I think.
All right, I'm gonna go and pretend that I'm not hearing that outside whilst you go and do your thing.
And so, Dungeon Master,
Yes.
Carlos will go over to a corner and he'll just make a couple of mumblings, something along the lines of, "Hey DM, don't think Zedriel's tenets suit me so well," and he's sort of scratching his own version of tenets out on a bit of paper, and then he sort of says a little prayer for each person, like, not going into too much detail, but just generally, help Filster with his building, help Adok with his conquering his fears and understanding, help Skathis to just be a bit more one with the group, and help Zadriel to lead without any sort of doubts, and help Emilia to get over this weird feeding frenzy she seems to be going through at the moment. And then after he's finished his prayers, he sort of sits there with his tenets that he's partially written out, and he's like, "Oh boy, I have a lot to think about." And that pretty much will be it for him. And
yeah, so as you guys are sitting through your watch, you do start to hear, off in the distance, I mean, it's muted because you're in a basement, but you do hear the sounds of moaning, shuffling from outside. It doesn't seem like sometimes you get the occasional sound that seems like it's relatively close, and at one occasion you hear the sort of a ka-dunk against the basement door, and then a sort of a dragging as something sort of hits it and drags against the door, and then that eventually goes. But this lasts for a couple of hours before it slowly just dissipates to a point where you can no longer hear it anymore. And then everything seems relatively still again. Adok, roll a wisdom save for me. Unfortunately, because Carlos is the closest thing to you that's awake, and because of his dark gift, it'll be at disadvantage.
I got a 2.
You got a 2, so
with disadvantage. Hang on.
Yeah.
I got a 2.
As much as your dark gift definitely makes you more, not so much brave, but definitely looking more spoiling for a fight, the fear just is too much at this point. I mean, it doesn't send you screaming into a corner or anything like that, but you are very aware that there's something not good outside, and you are so grateful that you are barricaded in this basement right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you wish to RP that out at any before we finish your watch, by all means do so. Otherwise, we will end your watch there, and we'll move on to the final watch.
The only thing Anna would be doing was just like clutching onto his flute blowgun and staring at the doors. And then whilst the noise subsided, he would look at the set of instruments that he got, the new ones. He'd look over them.
So you're not sure what it does, but if you wish to spend the rest of the evening concentrating on them and looking at them, and we would call it they don't need a training, but we would call it an attunement period. I'll get you to make an arcana check for me.
The only thing with what's happening is he'd look at them craftsmanship wise, but he wouldn't play them because of what's going on outside. Yeah,
wouldn't need to play them.
Yeah,
but spending time with them, looking over them and checking it. I mean, it's a basic set of what looks like panpipes. But if you were to look over them and spend that time with them and make a successful Arcana check, I'll tell you what they are.
Okay, doggy. A lovely 14.
14.
Oh, wait, I have inspiration from Grimm, so I can add a D10 to it.
Okay, add a D10. Roll at disadvantage because you are still exhausted. And Karnos is still there. So, but you can add your D10s to it still.
Okay.
The DC's not that high, so.
Yeah, okay, well, so...
the lowest is what?
Is 16.
16.
16.
So that'll be it. So, as you focus on these pipes over the course of your watch, and you start looking at them, and you think, wow, this is such a cool instrument. It's awesome. It's very well made. It is Pipes of Haunting. It is on D&D Beyond, or it should be on D&D Beyond. You must be proficient with wind instruments to use them, which you are, because you have a flute. Although you're not very good at the flute, but you are proficient. It has 3 charges. You can use an action to play them and expend 1 charge and create an eerie spellbinding tune. Each creature within 30 feet of you that hears you playing must succeed on a DC 15 wisdom save or become frightened of you for 1 minute. If you wish, all creatures in the area that aren't hostile towards you automatically succeed the saving throw. So you can basically choose whether your friends automatically succeed or not, and force them in making that save as well.
Okay, cool.
So it should be on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, it just came up now. Okay, cool. I'll mull that over.
Yeah, so you
But,
can add.
would he know that now? Or would
Yes,
after
well,
it's
probably in the morning. So
Yeah, okay.
I'd say, but when you wake in the morning, you would have that information.
Is Fibble still the next watch, is he?
Yes, so Fibble and Skathis, the final watch.
So I'll give Fibble a tap on the shoulder and... Mr. Sturbit, it is time to wake up for your watch, my friend.
Right. Okay.
Nothing to report other than some minor noises in the exterior of the building.
Alright. Cool. Exterior building.
Mm.
How exterior?
Well, it was minor bumps and scrapes and moaning. Oh, it could have been Amelia in her sleep, maybe. I'm not sure.
Amelia sleepwalking. That could be problematic.
I've just filled another water skin for her with some blood. Well, I haven't filled it off, just put enough in it because it makes me a little woozy. But Zadriel said to keep an eye on her. She's been a bit funny. She fed before sleep, but I do recommend keeping an eye on her and keep this water skin near her so she gets to that before anyone else.
Or we just put a bullet through her head.
That's totally up to you, but I think we should give her a chance first. This curse is not of her doing.
Okay. Righto.
That's fair. You think that's fair, right?
What? Putting a bullet through her head? Yeah, I think that's fair.
If she gives you trouble, I mean, absolutely, but giving her a chance also works too.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know how to cure. Actually, I wonder if we could cure her.
Well, I'll tell you what, you ponder your time with Skathis about curing her while I get some sleep. Thank you very much, and good night.
Yeah, sleep on that side, away from.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Maybe maybe we could make a gag for her.
Carlos is already going to the side where people stood.
Carlos walks away and Phil, you're just talking to yourself. But that's nothing unusual for you, and it doesn't really phase you at all.
Yeah, not at all.
So, Skathis, you're also woken, and Fibble and Skathis, it is now your watch. Fibblestib, just with that little suggestion of a cure for Amelia, do you still have the copy of the Vampire Hunter's book in your possession? I'm pretty sure you do.
So,
I'm pretty sure you do.
Yeah.
With that suggestion, would you think that Fibble would maybe flip through it
I'd be
possibly
flipping
looking
through.
for information based on that?
I'd be flipping through that book and also trying to think up a way to make a like a gag that would stop Emilia from being able to bite anyone, but still allow her to talk.
Okay. I think I get what you mean. A muzzle, basically.
Yeah, but still allow her to talk and feed, but not feed off people.
It might be a little bit problematic.
Yeah.
Anywho, you can definitely start looking into that. Maybe start sketching some things up. As far as your research, flipping through the book, I'll get you to roll investigation. Add your proficiency though. I would say
Proficient with investigation.
Okay,
anyway,
well, yeah. So roll investigation.
18.
So 18. I would say you guys have probably had enough sleep being the last watch that your exhaustion will be gone. So we'll roll those straight rolls. Won't complete a long rest just yet. But with an 18, as you're flipping through this book from Van Richten, flipping pages looking just for any kind of reference to possible cure or remedies, and you do find a page towards the end of the book where it's a handwritten footnote on a page, which gives reference to a potential elixir that is able to not cure a bitten vampire or one that has been turned or not yet turned, and but may be able to stave off the effects of undeath until such time as maybe something else can be done. There is talk, as you've read through this book a few times, you have come across that maybe the killing of the sire or head vampire, as one from most vampire lore, may render all those under that vampire human again. Possibly. There's been no evidence of this, but it is a possibility. So this elixir may be enough to possibly halt Emilia's progress to a point where she may be able to gain some form of control over herself until such time as you can possibly kill Strahd, and maybe it will help her. You will need some ingredients. There is a list of ingredients.
Is there an ingredients list?
There is. One of the ingredients is called a cuddle flower, which grows in the southern part of Barovia, in the swamps. In brackets, swamps of Berez is written in there. So as you it has a little picture of the flower, and you sort of look at it, you think, fuck, we just saw those, and there was a few bushes with the same flower in and around the standing stones of Berez. And you did see a few similar looking flowers on your way to the winery as well. It requires what is written 1 measure of charcoal, which it doesn't really give a measure, but you can sort of imagine, as you're proficient in alchemy, yeah?
Yeah, I'm actually an alchemist.
So you would know a measure would be the equivalent to, this would probably make a vial, so you'd know a measure would be probably 1 part of a 5-part vial, so it'd be like a single measure of charcoal. A single measure of the intended's blood, so you would gather that to mean you need part of some of Emilia's blood. And then there is a ingredient there that you would be familiar with. It's just a base ingredient for alchemy. You'd recognize it as soon as you saw it. You would have that in your components pouch. So it's a very simple formula, and it seems that this flower seems to be the base for it. That this seems to be the one thing that could possibly slow the effects of what's happening to it. Maybe it literally says at the bottom it's experimental. He's not tried it. But this is information that he's found over the last sort of 10 or 15 research. So
Awesome.
that is what you're able to determine.
So
That would take you about half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah. And then with the last part, I'm going to ritual cast Identify on all the stuff that I've picked up. So it was there was a stone.
So
a
I
gem?
will, yep. So what
remember
did
it.
you specifically have? So you had the stone?
Yeah, I took the gem, and I think that was it. Everyone else
There
took
was
all the other stuff.
the vial as well you were given.
Yes.
So the vial is the oil of sharpness. It's a clear gelatinous oil, sparkles with tiny ultra-thin silver shards. So this oil can coat one slashing or piercing weapon up to 5 pieces of slashing or piercing ammunition. Takes 1 minute to do so. It lasts for 1 hour, and it is classed as a magical item and has a +3 bonuses to attacks and damage.
Found and added.
It should be in there, and
Yeah, I
the
already got it.
stone is the stone of good luck, or luck stone.
A luck stone.
So while this polished agate is in your on your person, you gain +1 bonus to ability checks and saving throws. I don't know that it needs a tuning. It doesn't actually say. It's in D&D Beyond, so you've got to find it.
Good luck.
Stone of good luck.
Use the one.
I'm pretty sure it does not need to be attuned. So essentially, while it is on your person, you get a +1 bonus to saves and ability check.
I'm just looking to see if it needs attunement now.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
It does.
Say, oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah.
So it would say on there whether you need to attune to it or not. So up to you whether you wish to attune to it or not. If you want to spend the remainder of the evening with it in your hand, we can say you can attune to it.
After I've worked it out, I'd be sitting there going, this would be good. Make me more powerful. Killer.
Okay, so you'll spend the rest of the evening on your watch attuning to the Luckstone.
Yeah, and I'd also tell Skathis that we need to go shopping. Well, gathering stuff and things to maybe potentially.
Now?
Tell him. Don't tell me. Tell him.
No, not now. Later.
You just said we need to go shopping. You didn't say when.
Well, can't go right now anyway. Everyone else is asleep. Or could
True. No, we can't.
Okay.
I mean, we could all wake him up, leave Emilia here. No, that's wrong.
This will actually help Emilia. Maybe, potentially, hopefully. Yeah, experimental. It'll help her or blow her up. One of the two.
What did you find?
It's a elixir of, I don't know, anti-vampirism.
Okay.
It's kind of, sort of, maybe. I don't know. It's not like it's like this will cure Emilia.
Skathis scratches his head, just doesn't understand anyway.
Look, it's above your pay grade, dude. Let's just say, we'll be able to potentially make it so that Emilia doesn't want to eat us all, which I think is a good thing. Maybe. Potentially. That, or we just kill her, one of the two. But, speaking of that, where is Emilia right now?
Look around to see where she is.
Emilia, are you awake or asleep?
Emily is hanging from the rafters like that. No, she's fast asleep where she's left, still using the seat as a pillow.
So Emily is probably, I'd say she'd be in a, it wouldn't really matter where she is. She not really feeling the cold like the rest of you on the dirt floor. So are you in the old ritual room or in the basement room?
I think she'd probably be happier in the room with the dirt.
Okay. So she's probably closer to you guys than the others, being that's where you would be on watching it. But she's asleep.
Cool.
Anything
need to
else
get
you guys
some
wish to
chain.
talk about?
We need chain, 2 circles, actually 4. Hey, we need to go to jail.
Why? What's there
Manacles,
for?
Emilia,
Oh, okay.
for when she's asleep.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Until we make this elixir, chain her up. I just don't know what we're going to chain her to. Probably not a good idea to chain her to Karnos because she'll probably just roll over and eat him in her sleep. But
Well, if you can make me something metal that I can put into stone, I can do that for you.
metal to go into stone. What?
I can use mason's tools to.
I can do that too. I don't need you to do that.
Eh.
Although, no, I better do it anyway. Your strength is shit.
Yes.
It's about this point as you guys are sort of discussing over this. No need for perception checks. You both hear it. Very low sound of what could only be described as sort of just a very mournful moan, shuffling of many feet, an occasional sort of gargled, almost growl from the exterior of the house. It doesn't sound close. People, you'd probably more likely be able to discern distance than anyone else. The fact that you're in a basement is kind of making it hard to determine, but it's not like they're right outside. They're definitely a distance away, but you can still hear it, which suggests it's probably a few, more than just maybe 10 or so. You're probably looking 20 or 30, maybe even whatever these things are. You can roll an intelligence check, both of you, see if you know what it is. Because Karnos and Emily are still in the room, it'll be a disadvantage, unfortunately, because of their dark gift is still active.
15.
And Skathis, what's yours? 11.
Yeah.
Even with that, 15 would do it. 11 probably not so much. Skathis, you're probably sitting there. I don't know if you'd be freaked out by it, but I think you'd understand what it is, definitely. You've been in Barovia long enough, you've seen things that would make you think that, and you've heard stories that people don't stay dead in this place. So you'd probably got an idea, that the township...
I'm thinking it's the township woken up from their slumber.
You definitely know that. You just think, shit. How many people lived in this town? A lot. How many people have died in this town recently? A lot. Chances are that a lot of those bodies are now wandering around town in some form of undeath, possibly. Kind of hard to tell, but that's probably what you're probably thinking. After about 40 minutes or so, the sounds like it moves away to a point where it's barely hearable, and then it stops. And it's all quiet again.
I think we're going to be busy when we get out of here.
Yeah, I think that too.
At that point, Fibble, you hear a against the door. And then a against the door again. The door shakes violently, straining against the horseshoes and the boards that have been nailed up against it. Then you hear scraping down the outside of the door, floor on door almost. And then what you hear probably startles you both. Very loud and very poignant, right at the door. And you hear sniffing around the base of the door. And then you hear which is not as muffled, but it's still muffled. They're not super close, that the howls, but there's something definitely right outside that door. Doesn't seem to be attempting to get in, but it's almost like it's letting you know it's there.
Did you invite anyone here, Fibble? Or did Emilia do it?
No. I just sort of, no, I didn't invite anyone. I didn't want to really be here either, but yeah.
I think we're going to have to talk to Emily and tell her to stop inviting her friends over.
She's got friends. When did that happen?
She keeps taking off all the time, so I assume she's got friends somewhere, maybe.
I always thought she was just going to go find something to eat. But, I don't know. I'm starting to think that they're going to be very busy when they wake up.
Yeah.
Over the course of the next hour, you hear this again maybe another 2 or 3 times, and then after a while it stops. As you sit watching the door, almost waiting, expecting there's something to come bursting through the door, waiting, ready to wake your friends just in case. Nothing happens. The anticipation of it was probably quite palpitating. You were definitely waiting for something, and it just didn't happen. You didn't hear any more noises for the next half hour or so. As you would assume, the sun is starting to rise. Kind of hard to tell in this basement, no windows. You can see daylight sort of start to spill through the bottom of the door. It's not bright daylight, it's daylight nonetheless. Definitely brings a dim light source to the top of the stairs as the sun does start to rise. You'll gain the benefits of a long rest, so you are no longer exhausted. Karnos and Emilia, your dark gift of the luck has dissipated, so you no longer have that dark gift. So you are able to not worry about that, so it will no longer affect your friends anymore either. But excuse me. Got all your dark gifts here, so you are all good to go. So Karnos, you still have your Misty Step, and Emily, you still have the one previously, which still there. Everyone else, you still wake up, you still have the dark gifts that you were given. They have not dissipated yet. Skathis, you're in day 2 of your dark gift. So the morning breaks, and the day is yours. You're awake, feeling somewhat better than you did the day before.
Morning, everybody.
Hey, I did some research last night.
Oh, okay.
And I came up with 2 ideas. One, we need to go to the prison and find some way of securing Emilia so that we don't all have to sit there and watch her continuously. And 2, I may have found a way to cure, semi-cure, or destroy, one of the 2, of Emilia. I've got the feeling that it's an elixir of some kind. I don't know. I'll find out. But we need to go back to the swamp.
You really have been busy. Are you saying this to everyone or just to me?
Everyone.
Just...
I even, especially saying it loud enough so Emilia can hear that, I found a way to keep her alive or dead, one of the 2. I don't know yet. We'll find out once we go there. But we need to go to the swamp or the winery, because I saw the flowers there.
We got to go to the winery anyway, right? Is it with the seed? We're taking the seed to them.
Yeah, well, there's this flower I need to get, and I got charcoal.
Oh, are you gonna pick flowers for Zedriel?
If anyone's still alive at the winery.
Oh,
Also true.
I don't really care if they're alive at the winery or not. I need the flowers. Which
Right.
means,
Well, I
I
guess
don't
that's
have
that.
to worry
then.
about her trying to eat me.
I guess we've just gonna have to go back. Anyone else through their watch hear what was happening outside though?
Oh yeah, by the way, I think some wolves have found us too.
So you all remember those pipes that we found at the swamp?
The ones that you took.
Yeah. I think I can use them to secure a safe passage for us if we do run into trouble.
Eh? How so?
Yes. I was looking over them and I don't know, I just kind of got like a vision of playing them and then scaring everybody away. Not from like bad playing, but just terrifying them, like the shit out of people.
Your flute
So-
does that anyway, doesn't it?
So bad playing. Okay.
Ah, and also I go, Carnos. I think
Yeah,
you'll find
yeah.
this handy, which is oil of sharpness, and I give him the oil of sharpness.
Okay, cool.
Oil of sharpness. It looks like liquid. It doesn't look very sharp.
Well, no, it is. You like put it on your weapon, and it makes the weapon sharper.
Oh, right. Well,
Yeah,
that's
you know,
interesting.
you know how you use a whetstone to sharpen your weapon, your bladed weapons.
Whetstone, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is better.
Right. I
But-
shall.
The same.
Do I have to do anything specific with it, or just pour it on the weapon?
I don't think so. But yeah, maybe. I think you'll work it out. You've sharpened the weapons before, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you'll work it out.
Oh, look, it's clear oil with like little silver fragments in it.
Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it? Kind of shiny.
All right. Okay. I'll do this.
Yeah, but
Next.
I don't know if it would be a good idea to put that on the sun's sword. It might catch a light.
Oh yeah, good point. I'll put it on my good axe. And how long does it last me for?
I guess until the oil wears off.
Hour.
Okay.
Only for an hour.
Yeah, I'm reading it in front of me. I just wanted to see what he knew.
He doesn't know anything.
I know that it will be on there until it's not on there.
Yeah, cool.
Right. We just have to sort of prep before a battle. It can't be sort of one of the out of the flesh sort of things, right?
I think this would be the perfect thing to put on your weapon before we go kill that arsehole. And not that one, but the big dude.
Right. Okay. You mean Strahd?
Yeah, that's what I
Ah.
said.
Good to know. I'll keep a hold of it until then.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me a lot of potions lately. It's quite nice actually. I feel like we're bonding somewhat.
Yeah,
Or
speaking
I'm
of
a
that,
guinea
yeah.
pig.
If you want, I've actually got some more.
Maybe share them around the group because they can benefit from them as well. I think.
Yeah, but yeah, okay.
Plus, I'm a bit worried about putting so much chemicals in my system. What effect it will have on me?
Well, it's not gonna affect you that much. I'm about 40% sure.
I recall having a 40% sure conversation with Adolk, and I'm pretty sure my math being correct, if it's correct, 40% is a low percentile, Mr. Stibb.
No, I'm 40% sure that it's gonna do something bad to you.
Okie dokie. Alright. So, shall we breach these doors? Oh shit! Is everyone awake?
Well, they're gonna be if we breach the bloody doors before I take the spells down.
Yeah, that's true.
Do
you
it.
do that.
Breach the doors.
So I'm gonna try to take the horseshoes out and save the nails as well.
Okay. What can we roll for that? Roll a dexterity check for me. Oh, nice roll.
That'll be a 23.
That'll be a 23. You save all of the nails. Even the slightly bent ones, you're able to re-straighten by laying them out on a flat surface and give them a bit of a tap with your hammer.
Carlos just grabs his nail planks and shoves them in his bag.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not very well balanced there, Carlos.
I put 2 planks on one side and 2 on the other. They kind of stick out awkwardly and they stab into things in my pack.
Yeah, that's what I mean by that. Ooh, wait a minute. Is there any containers in this room?
The basement here is fairly well cleaned. Not a lot down here. You get the impression it was never ever used as a functional basement, but an area for the cultists.
Yeah, because while we were sleeping, I feel a little bit stronger, and I think I can actually now feed us. I'm not sure how good it's going to taste, but I reckon I can feed us. We don't have to worry about food anymore.
Carlos looks around the room to see if all the other party members still have their limbs.
Yep, everyone still has their limbs.
Okay.
I'm not a fine young cannibal.
What are you going to feed us, Fibble?
I've got a feeling that I have access to an ability that can feed. Well, it could feed us, and it could feed if we had some horses, and it'd give water, and I don't know, but I don't know what it's going to taste. I've never used the spell. Magic. I just got a feeling that I got it. And I also got a feeling that I can heal everyone a little bit. It's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on someone.
It's like that Jesus fellow you were talking about that fed everyone like for nothing and gave them all wine. I can give wine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, see, he can do it on a bigger scale. Maybe he's just a higher level spell.
Shall we head to the prison now?
Yes, focus, please.
Yes, Scaphus, that's the best thing you've said all 2 months. Hang on. We're going to have to... I mean, you've taken your nails off the door. Do you want me to go out first before anyone sticks their faces into the crazy?
Yeah, wait a minute. Do we want to go up through the house or up through the outside basement thingy?
Well, where was those noises coming from?
They were coming from outside the exterior door.
Right, yeah. I suggest we go through the interior door, not the exterior.
Nice suggestion,
Okay.
Scaphus.
Let's go to the prison.
As you
Again.
finish your spells, we'll finish your alarm spell up through the Voctor house. You make it to the exterior of the house, but before you head outside, you look out the windows to sort of see what's around. You don't really see anything out of the ordinary. Your idea is to go to the barracks first, yeah? That's where you wanted to go?
The prison? Yeah.
If that's where the prison is.
Well, that's where you know you were imprisoned, was the little barrack house.
Could you mark it where it is, please?
Before we leave the
You guys
house,
are approximately there,
Okay,
and it's not that far from where you guys are, actually. It's not far from the Baron's house, so it is about there. But it's actually not too far to go. You guys know how to get there. You've been there a couple of times now.
just before we leave the Varta house, though, Scathus, I think maybe we should just check the exterior, make sure there's nothing outside, because we did hear a lot.
I was going to, while in the house, just wait a few to see if anything passes by or anything like that. So pretty much an investigation of the area without leaving the Valaki house.
How long do you want to wait?
Half an hour?
Whilst Skathis is going to wait, as this is happening, Adok would go up to Emilia, by the way.
There you go. Do your thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So Adok would walk up to Emilia. Hello, you alright?
Yeah, I think so.
Don't look so good.
Someone left me a bag in the morning, so I got to have a drink this morning, so that was pretty good.
2 bags.
2 bags. Sweet. Puts one in their backpack, one in their pocket.
Right. No. Are you still certain that, you're not feeling hungry, or your eyes always look so dull?
I don't know, I can't see them.
That's a fair point. Look, as long as you're all right.
I think so. I'm sure that you guys will know if I become hungry.
Oh, I'd hope so. No, it's good humour with what's going on. Also, look, just a quick, I don't know, maybe idea. Are you able, that beast thing that you can do, like turn into animals and stuff?
Yeah.
You think that maybe you could turn into something that could scout around for us, like with wings? Small, maybe.
I can turn into a bird.
For like maybe, if you were to fly ahead and then report back or something, because I can do the mind thing. Or you got Zadriel, she can talk to animals.
Or I could just walk out into the street and see if anything attacks me.
I mean, you could do that, but then you'd probably die. At least you wouldn't bite anyone. Ha! See, humour.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, good chat. Just thought I'd, yeah. All right, cool. And now it's going to give 2 thumbs up, and then he's going to back away.
Emily will walk up to where what do you call it? I keep going to say Alessandros. Skathis is out looking the hallway. She's going to hand the seed to whoever's there, and she's going to walk out the front door. To basically the middle of the street.
Yeah, definitely.
I will walk ahead with my shield and say, no. No.
And I'll do the same, sort of both sides, shields up.
So opposite facing, looking around.
Let's not do anything hasty and silly, Emilia. I don't want you wasting that blood I've lent you. And then DM, I turn around because I was helping Skathis sort of look out like the window shutters and stuff, and I say, DM, please guide us and give us a sense of what is going on the outer of this building. Please lend me your divine power.
And I'd like to accidentally activate divine sense. Well, unknowingly. But is it just a feeling, or do you get a
I think
okay.
you get a distant sense a little bit. I'll read it.
I've got it. it says you
Yes, I was muted on stream. Sorry.
you can sense anything affected by the hallowed spell, or know the location of any celestial fiend or undead.
Okay, so you know
within
the
60
location.
feet.
So
yeah.
other than Emilia, you don't get any other sense then.
Okay.
You get a sense of undead standing right in front of you. Or beside you, behind you, wherever Emilia is.
Which will be the first time I'm feeling this weird sense. So,
yes. So it'd probably be kind of creepy too.
I'm getting a weird chill, and Emilia, you are standing out extremely odd in this weird chill of mine. Like I have a force or a pull in the direction of you. You are reading as a creature, not a... Zadriel, is this what you get?
Yeah, you get that. Yeah. It's like a little itchy spot, yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah. You're doing well.
Oh, sorry, what is going on right now?
He is using the DM to find what is in the area that is undead or fiend.
I'm getting an odd reading from you too, Zadriel. A different sort of reading.
Yes, you would too.
Celestial, yes.
And
I almost forgot about that.
as well, I think.
Yes.
What's Scathus?
It would be faint.
as?
It would be very faint with Scathus because he does. He's not typically a fiend, but he does have fiendish blood. He does have demon blood, so it wouldn't give you the same signature as a full-on fiend, but it would be a very faint signature of that.
I'll leave it at that. He's just like reveling in, hey, something new's happened, and it isn't Misty Step making me go paralyzed.
Zadriel pats him on the shoulder.
So, are you seeing what she sees? Sort of pointing at Skate's skin. Are you seeing what she sees?
I'm not seeing anything. I feel something. It's like I feel your aura as opposed to seeing your aura.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. It's gone now. It didn't last long, but I got to,
So everything else is all clear? Nothing around, or?
Nothing that I can feel or see with my eyes, normally.
Okay.
Scathus, are you happy with what your investigation has turned up?
Over the course of this sort of 15 or 20 minutes that you've been discussing and doing this sort of stuff, Scathus, you've seen no movement from the street or any of the outlying houses. Heard nothing again but the crows and the flies. The smell, there's still a thick smell of iron on the air, so you can still have that thick smell of death in the air and blood. It's still it only happened yesterday kind of, but it's still there. That stench is still there. Smell of burnt wood and charcoal's thick in the air as well. But no movement, no sound other than that.
All seems clear. Shall we head to the prison?
Right.
Where's Vasily's house from here? Just out of question.
What's that, sorry?
Where's Vasily's house from here?
From where you guys are, Vasily's was further up this way.
Okay, so it wouldn't be in the site.
No, it was further. It was further towards the northern gate. Heading south down the road. Are you just casually walking, or are you being cautious? You're moving slowly, stealthily. How exactly are you moving, progressing forward?
I would say cautiously.
I would take the rear.
So just cautious, not stealth? Sort of just taking your time, just watching as you go?
Yeah, well, the fact that I didn't see anything, I'd probably do cautious.
Okay.
Scathus, are you leading? Because if you're leading, I'll be beside you.
Yeah.
So Scathus out in front, Carnos
just behind the pretty much face to face, side by side. Sorry.
So where is Adok in this group?
Adok's gonna be next to Zadriel, just in front though.
Okay.
But as he's walking, Adok's gonna be looking at Carnos, in between his shoulder blades as he's walking, just curiously, just pondering what the fuck is happening at this moment.
Okay.
And then looking at Zadriel, then looking back at Carnos, and then trying to compare the two.
No worries. Fibble and Emilia, whereabouts you guys in this group? Middle, rear, or front?
I'd probably be near ad hoc.
Okay. So we'll say you're in a bit of a group. Emilia, would you be in the middle or towards the rear?
I'd be in the rear, but I'll be sort of looking around to see if I can see any buildings that are still intact. Like
okay. Cool. So I'll get you to make an investigation check, which will be at your -3 now, not -2. So you're now max -3 +3 on your daytime, nighttime stats.
Cool.
So you don't really notice anything. You're looking around, but everything sort of seems the same. As you guys slowly move towards where you know that the guardhouse / barracks / prison is, you've been there a couple of times. You know roughly where it is. As you approach, the building is, from this side, looks like it's intact. However, as you move around the side and towards the front of the building, the door is hanging open, swinging on one hinge. There's a blood trail leading out the front door, and as you your eye sort of follows that blood trail, just off maybe 10 or 15 feet from the door is a pile of bodies. Fucking cough. Maybe 3 or 4 bodies.
Can we determine whether that blood trail is fresh or old?
It's about as old as the rest of the blood around town. So it's probably definitely hours old. Sorry guys, holy crap. Entering the building, lots of blood, but no bodies inside. As you go downstairs to where the jail cells are, Fibber, what are you looking for specifically? Was just manacles, yeah?
Like 2 sets of manacles that I'd be able to, hopefully, that are big enough to put on her hands and legs. Top deal.
Roll investigation with advantage because everyone's there and be helping.
That'll be a 21.
It doesn't take you long. You definitely find manacles and shackles. Manacles for the hands, shackles for the ankles, which would more than be able to fit any medium creature, including Emilia.
Excellent. So grab them, give them to Emily and go, here you go. Put these on before you go to bed.
Oh, excellent. Is there any chain around or anything?
Not specifically. Like the chain that's here is either attached to manacles or it's attached to the wall. Like the one or two of the cells, the ones that you guys weren't in, does have sort of manacles that are attached to the wall, but there's not just chain here that you can.
How easy would it be to get just a bit of chain?
You could attempt to remove it from the wall. I don't fancy your chances, but it looks like it's well made. It would take you a while if you were to attempt it.
What if you use my mason tools?
Well, working with steel is not masonry, so your mason tools won't do a whole lot.
But isn't it embedded in the walls?
They are attached in the walls, yes.
Isn't the wall stone? Or concrete? Or...
Roll investigation, yeah.
I'll roll shit, won't I? Yep.
You're not sure what type of stone this is? You've never seen this type of stone before. Actually, are you proficient in mason's tools? As if you are, you'd be able to. I think you can roll an advantage. Because just because you've got the tools doesn't mean you're proficient in them.
How do I find out whether I'm proficient?
It should state under your proficiencies.
Yeah, so where it says armor, weapons, tools, languages, the tools you're proficient will be in that list.
So features and traits, wouldn't it?
No, it's right on the first page where all your main stats are.
Just underneath weapons trash.
Yeah, so where your weapon armor and proficiencies in that is?
No, it doesn't have it.
Okay,
It's
so
just,
you...
all it's got, so proficiencies, yeah, I guess I am proficient. It said tools, flute and mason tools.
You are
Yeah,
proficient,
so
so you add your proficiency to that. What's your proficiency? +3?
Yeah,
At the top of your sheet.
Should be
+4.
+4, so 12. So even with a 12, it's not too bad. You think you might be able to do it. So I'll give you... Let's roll a... Gonna be strength. A strength check. Add your proficiency. Add your proficiency too, though.
Okay.
Because this is a check with your tools.
So that would be 22.
The 22. So you look at this and you go, yeah, I can get that out. Grab your masonry tools and you manage to tip around the central ring where this chain is attached to the wall and eventually are able to render it free. So you now have an extra long set of manacles that have a ring attached to the center and a 10-foot chain.
And I hand that chain to Fibble. Say, I'm sure you could do something else with that.
I give it to Emily and go, here, you can carry this as well.
So
does that change mana corners, or is it just?
It does. It's got manacles on either end. So to say 10-foot chain with manacles, and it's got a metal ring with like a 1.5-foot metal spike on it as well. So basically just 10-foot chain with manacles at this point, and I'll remember what the rest of it is.
I suppose we should go deliver this seed and get your flowers on the way too. Isn't that right, Fibble?
They're not my flowers, they're Emilia's flowers.
I don't care whose flowers they
I
are.
did not know this. Oh, people. You sneaky little shit. I didn't know. I thought Scathus was... You just snuck in the back door, huh?
Emily goes redder than Scathus.
Have you finally gone crazy?
You have. You're giving flowers to Emilia.
I need
She
the flowers
bites.
to make an elixir to potentially cure Emilia.
Right. Okay.
Emily is still red. Still red.
So, with the ridiculing out of the way, you leave the prison. And are you going to make your way to the western gate and head to the winery? Is that the plan?
Sounds like a plan, yeah.
As you do so, the one thing you all notice is where there were previously bodies, not all of them, but where there were previously bodies that you definitely would have noticed on your way to the Vacta house, there are none. Some of them do remain. Some of them that were burnt remain where they are. Others that were completely torn apart remain where they are. But a lot of the bodies that were here that you did see on your journey into the town and to the Vacta house today, the night before, no longer there. So for those of you that heard the sounds the night before, I'll get you to roll an insight check, please.
I'm gonna.
Everyone over a 15? You gonna use anything ad hoc?
Yeah, I rolled a 5, but I'm gonna use Flash of Genius to add another 3 to make it a 7.
What about me being seeing the things in Basili's house?
Sorry.
What's that, sorry?
What about me seeing the things in Basili's house? I didn't hear anything, but it did say the 3.
Yeah, no, this is just more for the ones that heard noises from the night before.
It is.
So those over 15, which is Fibblestib and Scathus by the looks of that. You're pretty certain that, yeah, these people have gotten up and fucking walked away sometime during the night. Creepy in itself.
I turn to Fibble. Well, that explains the noises then, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
What?
Not all
where
the
they all
noises.
gone now.
Yeah, and you all would hear what they're talking about.
Oh, the bodies that were out here aren't here anymore.
Yeah, they all become the Walking Dead. But
Zadriel, I feel like Zadriel will be compelled to run to where Nikolai and Carl were.
Okay, so Zadriel turns and heads back towards town square. The rest of you follow.
I follow in pursuit.
as fast as my little legs can follow.
So who
I
has
get
the
the feeling I
fastest
know why.
running speed? So do you keep pace with Zadriel or do you go ahead of her?
30.
Yeah, Skater's got like 45, so... Do you keep pace? Or do you go ahead?
I'll go ahead.
So Skathis, you're the first to reach the town square. Zadriel, Karnos, anyone else with 30 feet is not far
Karnos is
behind.
25, he'd be
So,
slower.
okay, so Fibble and Karnos will be the last to arrive. But out of the 7 bodies that you found the night before, you cut them down, laid them and covered them. Only 2 remain. Whatever you covered the others with is sort of strewn to one side. As you get closer, you see that the body of Erwin Martikov, as you uncover it, is still there. And the body of Ismark is still there. The rest have gone.
Well, this doesn't make sense.
Zadriel just falls to her knees and doesn't say anything.
Roll a d6, Zadriel.
I get the feeling there's a reason why some can be zombies and some cannot be zombies.
I got a 1.
Got a 1. Which body do you drop down to closest to?
I was just dropping on the ground, not seeing Carl and Nicholas, so...
Nikolai, yep, okay.
Nikolai, so
roughly how close?
Choice.
Roll a d6 again. See how close. Evens, you're extremely close. Odds, yeah, see, you're about 5-10 feet away. But as you drop to your knees, you'd be probably the first, maybe Skathis too. So Skathis and Zadriel, roll a perception check for me, as you two are the closest.
30-20.
Skathis, you definitely see it. Zadriel, you're preoccupied. You see Ismark's hand. You swear it moves. Finger twitched.
With that, if Zadriel was on her knees, I'd shove Zadriel back.
And what do you do? Specifically, just shove it to one side and do nothing, or what do you do?
Shove it aside. It moved.
What? What?
The hand, it moved.
Divine sense. Divine sense.
Yeah, the moment you throw up divine sense, you get a very strong reading of undead right in front of you, where these 2 bodies lie.
Shit. Team.
As
undead.
As you as Skathis says that, you turn around and say that to your team. You all now sort of focus on these 2 bodies, and Erwin Martikov sits up. Ismark turns to one side and just his eyes look up at you, but the eyes are milky white and dead. But he looks directly at you, Zadriel.
I'd like to force my divine sense, see if I can do it again.
Okay.
Just seeing what's going on.
So seeing this movement in these corpses, you concentrate and you will on sort of concentrate in that divine
Power of the
sense,
DM.
and you also get that same very strong feeling of undeath as you look into the eyes of Ismark Kulyana as he starts to slowly sit up also. What are you doing,
Zadriel,
team?
I'm not getting a good feeling here.
I would be grabbing my hammer if I saw him move, like
Okay.
getting it ready.
So they are
getting
very slow. They don't seem to be. I mean, they're definitely looking aggressive. I mean, they're zombies. You know that what you're gonna have to do. So I'll give you guys. We're not going to really worry about initiative here. I know with the 5 of you or 6 of you, you're going to have no problems dealing with these guys. But what are you guys going to do? So I'll just go around and get a reaction from everyone. So Adok, as this happens, what do you do?
Adok would go to
Raiders!
say we need to go, and then seeing them move, he's gonna whip out his new pan flute and just take a deep breath and blow into it.
Okay. So the wisdom save on that's 15, isn't it?
Yeah.
So as you guys start to realize what's happening, you hear a tune. This is not the same tune that you normally get from Adok from the flute. This is actually a pleasant tune. Do you allow your allies to automatically succeed on the save?
Would I really know how to do that at the first time playing?
With the attunement, yeah. When you attune to something, basically, or spend time with it, you would know exactly what it does and how it works.
Yeah. Okay. Then absolutely. Yeah. I've got an understanding.
So I'm just going to roll this quickly. Yeah, they both fail, and both frightened of you.
And then after that, Alice will be like, right, we've got to go now.
Kill them fast.
I agree, kill them.
So we'll go around. Karnos, we'll get an action from each one of you, and we'll just resolve it as a group. So I'll just get an action from each one of you. What would Karnos do?
He would pull his shield out, activate the sun sword, and reverse swing at Ishmark's head.
Skathis, what would you do?
Yeah, it's a hard one because I used my heavy fist. I'd probably kick him towards Karnos, saying he has that flaming sword.
Okay, Adok, you've played your new pipes and have said your piece. Fibblestead, what would you do, seeing Ismark and Erwin rising from the ground? Obviously dead.
I'd shoot a firebolt at Erwin and say, "You should be asleep."
Zadriel.
Zadriel would hold and see what Emilia did first, because she doesn't want to use the hammer in front of Emilia after that talk.
They're called Emilia. How does Emilia react?
Emilia will be at the back of the group, muttering under her breath about people running off, and her getting told off for it. And she probably wouldn't react.
Okay. So yeah, so Emilia's actually, and that, I forgot about Emilia. Emilia probably would have been the last to arrive. She'd be probably 15, 20 feet behind you, Zadriel.
Emilia's got faster speed than Karnos, but she wouldn't have been trying to keep pace.
That's what I kind of figured. So
Zadriel backs off.
Okay, so Karnos with the sun sword and Fibble with the firebolt. You react. You act quickly. Karnos, you decapitate. Who were you specifically attacking?
Yeah, Ismark's.
Ismark. Okay.
As I swung, Skathis sort of has kicked him into the sword, I think he said, so that's cool.
So you step forward, and with a single stroke of the sun sword, you remove Ismark's head from his body. What life was there now rendered motionless once again as the body slumps forward and the head rolls with a thud to the ground. Bibblestib, you release a firebolt into the chest of the former inn owner and keeper of the feather igniting the body. And after a few moments of crackling flesh and burnt clothing, he again remains motionless. No other movement can be heard. How long does Divine Sense? Like 10 minutes, yeah?
Nah, it's just one round, I think.
I forget. Either way, with them both now motionless, if it was still up, you would not sense anything more within its range at this point.
Yeah.
But you look around to see if anything more is going to happen, and you see no movement.
Yeah, 6 seconds until the end of your
6
next
seconds.
turn.
Okay, cool. But you see no other movement from town square. Again, as you look around the town square, many of the bodies that were strewn around here are no longer here, including those 5 that seem to have vanished.
The Ismark's body's still rather toasty, isn't it?
Ismark's body's fine. It's been decapitated. It's Erwin's spine that has been... Erwin's body that is now roasted and rather charred, smouldering.
Because, yeah, I was going to see if I could find any personal belongings, like a pendant or something like that.
If you wish to investigate the body, you could.
Yeah.
It's not nice. I wouldn't have made you roll for it. No point.
It was a good roll.
Investigating a dead body is relatively easy. I mean, unless they had secret pockets or anything like that, which I doubt this guy did. But as you sort of look over the body, trying to find something that may be personal to him, you can't really find anything. Anything that's there has been burnt beyond recognition. Nothing, like there's no necklace or pendant, save a small raven's, like, crow's skull that looks like it might have been in a pocket or something. Hard to tell, but just a small skull.
I'll take that.
It's charred, but
yeah, I know. I'll take it anyway.
It's noticed. It's something you notice that was just maybe not something that would be there.
So Jill bows her head and asks the DM in her head, not aloud, is Irina in this town right now?
So is that part of your dark gift?
I'm going to say it is, although I don't think she would know if she had a dark gift and all.
Whenever you receive a dark gift, you know what it is and you know how it works.
Okay.
So I will DM the answer in Discord.
While you're DMing the answer, just letting everyone know that with that Skathis kicked the Ismark into the sword decapitation, Karnos held a really, I would like to think he sort of spun the sword and held a nice pose.
So I've DM'd you the answer, because your question was, is Irina in the town?
Yeah.
So you have your answer.
Okay.
The DM at this point is not going to initiate his right to inform you to lie about that answer.
Okay.
So it is an answer for you, and if you wish to share, that is up to you.
What are we going to do, all of us? Are we going to stay and kill these undead, or are we going to go?
I believe we need to go to the winery.
We need to go then, now.
Yeah. I wonder if the seed actually caused this.
Oh. We need to go now.
So
Emilia still has the seed because she got stopped before.
He does too.
Handed it off.
So Emilia has the seed, indeed.
Elk and steed or walking?
I think haste is probably a good thing at this time.
You would know by this point that using the steed and Emilia as the elk would cover the journey in in a day. So in the time daylight, basically from now till dusk, roughly a 6 to 8 hour journey.
Okay, I'm going to cast it and grab the
Emily-
2 little ones. Maybe.
Emily, are you good for that?
Yeah, in a minute. Are the bodies on cobblestone or are they?
They're on cobblestone, yeah. The bulk of the town, especially the town square, is all cobblestone.
If I was to use was it mold earth or that? Could I remove a block of dirt from underneath the cobblestone and have it collapse?
No, I don't think you could. I think the cobblestone probably goes a little deeper than what the spell would allow, being a cantrip.
Yeah, sweet as. Emilia will go up to the 2 bodies and for the first time in a while she'll perform her ritual that she used to do all the time. She'll take a swig of her blood and then she'll put her finger into her mouth and then pull her finger out and make the symbol on one of the stones next to their bodies. And then she'll say, "Goodbye, my friend. Hopefully we don't see each other again."
Okay.
And she'll move a few meters away before turning into an elk.
No problem. So as you transform yourself into the giant elk and Zadriel summons her steed, unfortunately both looking very undead, as it seems to be the case in Barovia as of late. Not that it really phases you guys much anymore. It's now something you've seen a couple of times. You mount up Adok and Fibble with Zadriel.
It's okay at all.
Come on.
It's okay.
I'll give you a lift up. Come on.
You probably noticed, well, I don't know if any of you would, but Adok hasn't said anything since its mark got beheaded.
Yeah.
And doesn't grimace at the sight of the steeds, nothing.
He doesn't
hops on.
Yeah, he doesn't react like you normally would have.
Yeah.
A far less energetic reaction, shall we say.
And you, lover. Come on, lover boy, get on.
Emily will kneel to allow people to get on.
I think she's talking to you, Carlos.
No, I'm talking to you. I'm taking the little people.
So Carlos and Scathus, Emilia kneels and allows 2 of you to clamber aboard. And you start heading out towards the winery. Right, you're back at Valaki here because that's where you're going. So, excuse me. You head out onto the road. You know it's going to take a while, but haste is the key here. Within an hour, you make it to the bridge where you fought the hags. Well, the second time you fought the hags, in fact. Eventually making it to the crossroads leading towards the swamps of Berez. You know that it's going to be a day. The thoughts of what's happened in Valaki still in your minds. Over the course of the next hour or two, you make it further along the old Slavich road. And I just need to make a quick roll here. Make that a private roll.
Make your way, fair bony steed, to the winery.
As
and
you
I give Amelia a tap on the butt.
as you continue your journey, get everyone to roll a perception check, please, except for the steeds. So no steed and no Emilia, just the people aboard. Excuse me.
16.
Those of you over 15 would notice the giant spiders that have they're not in the road, but they're near the road. Fortunately, at the pace that you are traveling, you know there's not going to be a problem. You could easily just skirt around them, or you could stop and fight them. I'll leave this would normally not be a choice for you guys, but because you are mounted and traveling at speed, will allow you to make the decision whether to stop and fight or to continue on your journey.
Continue.
Yes, after
Yeah,
discussion,
let's get this. Yeah, let's get the thingy.
Haddock?
Come on, Haddock.
As you guys are traveling along, I don't know who would Haddock be holding on to?
Well, I'd imagine that Zadriel would have one in front, one in rear, like one sitting in front of her and one sitting behind her. So it'd be up to Zadriel. We're talking a Zadriel sandwich here.
You guys are terrible.
Well,
up to Zadriel who she would have sitting
it.
in front of her or who would be sitting behind her. Or she may even have them both in front. It's up to Zadriel. How would you find it more comfortable to have them on the horse?
Probably Haddock in the front.
As
Yellow in the back.
the horse and steed keep riding past, you see Zadriel in front. Claws start to emerge from Haddock's fingers, and then you just see him start to foam and froth, and then all of a sudden he'd jump off the steed and launch himself at the spiders.
I will give Zadriel a reaction to try and stop Haddock as he attempts to launch himself off the steed. So it'll be an opposing... Ooh, what are we going to do here? So it'll be... Yeah, opposing dex checks. To see who is quicker.
Check, not a save. Okay.
Yeah, so check, not a save.
I'm going to give Adriel a
You
plus
can't.
5 to it.
You can't.
Adriel. Okay, 15.
You're behind Zadriel and much smaller, and you would not see what was happening. So, unfortunately, Zadriel, you miss Haddock as he dives from the steed. I need you to make an acrobatics check. Actually, a dexterity save to see if you land.
Oh.
I will do the acrobatics after to see how well you land, if you land.
13, and I'll add another flash of genius as well.
Okay.
To make it a 16.
So as Zadriel leaps from the steed's back towards these creatures, God damn it!
Well, I'd probably ride by to grab him, but if he just jumped off, I might take my hammer and like water polo one, maybe.
You've already, unfortunately, your reaction would be to try and grab him, and you failed. So he jumps, and the horse is still traveling, so you'd be now in front of him. So
Sorry,
just hang on, Status. Hold up. Let me explain what's happening first, and then we'll get through where everyone else is. So as you jump, you're able to land it. If you want to land anything any particular way, I'll let you roll an athletics check or acrobatics check to see how cool it looks.
I do have an idea, just for flavor.
Yep.
So as Haddock jumps off and it's got these elongated claws, he lands onto it, then he just lets out like a Wolverine sort of ground snarl, just like at the spiders with like claws and stuff. It's just froth and foam.
Okay, no need for that. No need for athletics check for that. Yeah, he just full Wolverine pose, claws out, ready for action. So, both steeds run at the same pace, so it would be fair to say that you were both traveling side by side on the road. So you both would have been traveling at the same pace. So the guys, Skathis and Karnos, you would probably not have seen what has happened until Zadriel said whatever she says when Haddock makes it out of her grasp.
People, Haddock, what the hell are you doing? That's what I say.
And you would pull up your steed to stop.
Yeah.
So Emilia, you would hear that. Skathis, Karnos, you would also hear that. Does Emilia stop also, noticing that Zadriel is stopping?
Emilia would look around and seeing them stopped, would jump on the brakes. Hopefully
you guys are hanging on. So
not hard enough to
strength saves for Karnos and Skathis.
With that looking around, realizing what's going to happen, I would have jumped
realizing what was going to happen. We know that something's happened and that Emily is stopping.
Well,
You haven't. You wouldn't have seen any. You wouldn't have seen Adok. Would have seen them stop.
Seen the horse. Yeah,
stop.
Would have seen. Yeah.
So your reaction is to attempt to jump from Emilia.
Yes.
Okay, dexterity saving throw. Be very careful of metagaming things like this, though, Trash. That's all I'm saying.
Where did I see that?
That's a 14.
Yeah.
So you land. Okay.
It wasn't great.
It's not the greatest landing you've ever had, but you're okay. You don't take any damage. You're probably 30 or so feet from where Adok is. You turn and you look, and you can see him facing down maybe what looks like 4 or 5 large spiders. You fought these things. They look similar to the ones you fought before. Kaunos, a strength save from you unless you're going to try and jump as well. Just to maintain your...
Yeah, hearing Zedriel say that, I would have turned to look, and then I guess...
Emilia stops.
Emilia would have stopped, so I rolled a strength save.
Yep, this is the strength save. So 16, yeah, you're able to hang on, just. She just sort of comes to a halt, and you're going, whoa! And you sort of overbalance a little bit, manage to hold your balance, though.
And as I hang on, I'll be looking, and obviously I'd see Adok claws out going through his... I'd be like, that's me, boy! And I'd now bound off Emilia and I'd like to do a nice 3-point landing with my shield and axe in my hand and head straight for the same damn spider he's running for.
No worries. And Zedriel and Fibblesib, as you stop, what would your reactions be at this point?
Probably we'll go to an opposing spider because we've got to clear them now.
So with that, it wasn't a bad leap down. Again, not overly graceful, but was okay. But with that, we will call our session there because I'm not going to get into another combat or a combat. This might take us through past 10:30. So for the sake of those that have to get up early tomorrow, we will end our session there tonight. Thank you very much, players. We will pick up the session with a combat facing off with giant wolf spiders next week. As
what's Fibble and Zedriel? Did they get off there?
She said she got down and headed towards another spider.
Get off.
Is Fibble remaining on the steed at this point, or is he jumping down?
Yeah, because it's like I'm not jumping now. Fuck that.
Makes sense. It'd be able to shoot better from up there.
Finally got a decent view.
But well done, guys. Again, we will quickly go around our panel and get some moments from tonight's session. Chat, if you have any moments as well, feel free to chuck them in the chat. We'll read them out if we can. But before that happens, we'll get someone to start. I need to go for a pee real bad, so I'll be right back. So if Kaunos, you want to take away first tonight, let's go around under that way. So I'll be right back. Skathis Scribe to Kaunos.
So mine is actually Skathis moment, my main one, and that was, I just thought it was awesome when Eva was getting us to attack, see what we were doing when the 2 corpses were rising, and I was like, I'll just take a swing at Ismark's head. And Skathis, that reaction of you just to kick Ismark into the flaming sword, I thought was actually a really cool idea. I never thought of that, so pretty stoked with that one. And then, the other standout for me is those bloody pipes of Adok when the DM says, you hear him play it, but this is not the same tune as the flute. This is pleasant. I just thought, what a nice thing to say.
It's supposed to be the pipes of haunting, but it's hearing a lovely tune.
It's playing a nicer tune than your regular play. This is not the same. It's pleasant.
That's what's frightening about it. He's learned how to play overnight.
That's it for me, Skathis.
Annabek. So we had a Kaunos and a Skathis?
Skathis just starting.
Okay, cool.
Is he muted?
You're muted, Trash.
Okay, standout moment for me is Fibble. That one during the rest and working out the potion and all that. And the other one I liked was Zadriel's bomb about Fibble and the flowers.
Yes, very good, very good. Adoc.
Yeah, I really like the little bit of RP between Zadriel and Emilia. I think that was really cool. And then hearing Emilia, even though it's, you know, all of these conversations happen between Emilia and Zadriel, and none of the other party know what's going on. And I'm like, one of these days, we're all gonna get to see this other side of Emilia that we haven't seen. But it was a cool moment for me. And also I guess the paladin subclass with good old Karnos. That was a cool moment.
First time use of divine sense, and yeah.
Even though Ada probably wouldn't know what was going on, but yeah.
Very well played indeed. Bibble Sturb.
Yeah, the role play in between Emilia and Zedril, I enjoyed that. The role play in between Adoc and Karnos as well, where it's like Adoc's there going, so like we're good, right? Karnos is there. Didn't actually say yeah we're good, but it's like yeah we're good.
You said it without saying it. So.
Yeah.
Zadriel.
I like how far Addox come from hiding under a bed from a wolf mask to full-on Wolverining and frothing at a spider. Bravo.
Joys of a dark gift, eh? And the thing is, no one knows why he's doing it. That's the best part about that. They have no idea. Emilia.
Alright, I liked all the role play overnight. That was funny. That was really good. Sorry. It was when Fibble said, "This will either help Emilia, it'll help her, or blow her up." that made me laugh.
Yes, definitely.
And the whole the flowers for Emilia.
Yeah, that was great. Mina, loved the RP between Adoc and Karnos. We've got De Mortem. I don't know what that means. De Mortem, a Zad Sand, and Karnos giving Emilia his sack for blood. Zadriel Sandwich, yeah, was another one that I had to put it. But for me, it just I mean, the way you guys RP the story so far is, I enjoy the whole thing. I mean, obviously, I've added things to this module. Not there's anything wrong with the standard module as it is, but I like the darker side of things personally, and add a bit of darker sort of substance to an already relatively dark module. Just adds a little bit more to it, and you guys have RP'd it brilliantly. Obviously the RP surrounding Ismark and Irwin at the town square, having to kill them after they're already dead, definitely adds a little bit of gritty darkness once again, and having half the town get up and walk away during the night was something I was always going to do, because that's just freaking cool. Zombies, man. My first time in the stream and got here late, but already loved the vibe. Well, thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed the show. As I said, we do start at 7:30 p.m. every Wednesday night, New Zealand Standard Time. So that is 5:30 p.m. Australian. And if you happen to be in the US, it is about 3:30 a.m. Eastern. Just for those that are here now, just if you want to catch up again at some other point. All the VODs do go up onto my YouTube, so !YT. In the chat, we'll give you the YouTube link. All VODs go up there. We're about 43 episodes into Curse of Strahd. This is the first time I've run this campaign. I've never played it, but I love the story behind it. I've read the story, but I've never actually played the campaign, so I'm really enjoying this module. Look, Nutty, yes, you missed the whole thing, pretty much. And you're still at work. God damn. Anywho, don't forget to rejoin us on Friday night on Miss Yanti's channel for Stormlord's Wrath, another module from 5e, where I am playing. Some of the other cast members here are also playing in that module as well. Then come back here to this channel on Sunday night, 8 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time, 6 p.m. Australian, where we do our next episode of Vampire the Masquerade with our Chronicle Blood and Belief, where Kanos over there, is our storyteller, and again, most of us are playing in said campaign as well. So it's the first time playing Vampire the Masquerade. We're about 10 episodes in and thoroughly enjoying it. So hopefully you guys can come back and enjoy that show as well. If there is not any more moments from anyone else or in the chat, we should probably look at raiding someone, because we've been raided twice tonight. So I would like to thank those raiders for coming in, the new followers, the subs tonight. Guys, you are awesome. We had a few gifted subs in. We had a raid from Scuffed Greebly Greeb. What a name. That is awesome. We also had a raid from Punked Pyro Shadow, and a whole bunch of follows as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We hope you guys enjoyed what you did see. If you want to see more, definitely come back again. But who is online? Who is online? What sounds there? Lost Archives is on. I get the feeling we raid them a lot. Who else is there? Fabled 42 is doing a rerun. Only Time Will Tell UK. Battle Map for doing battle map stuff. Does anyone else have anyone to raid? It doesn't look like we've got any mini D&Ders on tonight. So, chat, give me a suggestion for a raid. Anyone on your list that is live that deserves our raid tonight? God, you guys are helpful. Demortem. The Lost, I would guess. Is Era on? If Era's on, we'll go.
Yeah, he's streaming on Destiny 2.
Okay, we'll go raid Era. He's only got one viewer.
Give him 28. Why not?
We'll give him a few more.
He'll be happy about that. Nah, we always stream raid Lost Archives. Come on.
Yeah, we've raided Lost Archives the last 3 or 4 weeks. So we'll give Mr. Era our continued support. We're raiding Mr. Era Code tonight. He is a friend and supporter of the channel, and hangs out with a lot of us outside of stream as well, and is playing in a D&D campaign with Mr. Grimm as the which is not online, but seems to be enjoying it. So that'll be our raid tonight, if it's going to work. There we go. Awesome, guys. That's it from us. We will see you again on Friday. So come and hang out with Yanti Friday for some Stormlord's Wrath. And then again on Sunday, VTM.